go back to the first page of that booklet. You need to have your booklet. Because we didn't write down the steps. What I wanted to do is just jump in and actually do some of these problems. But let's go ahead and write this up since you're building your own textbook. To solve a radical equation, isolate the radical on one side of the equation. Now you know that. We talked a lot about that yesterday. Step 2, raise both sides of the equation to the same power. Step 3, solve the equation. And step 4, check your answers to see if you have extraneous solutions. So I'll give you a minute to copy that. All right, so we are on this page. Now, at the very top of that page, let me see what your notebook says. Okay. Your notebook says rewrite x to the 1/3 as a radical. So can you write that like this?
X to be 1/3 x.
The address of the house.
What's the address of the house? 3. Good. So this is the cube root of x to the first power. It's all right. If it was x to the 2/3, right. If it was x to the 2/3, you could write that two ways. You could write it's the cube root of x squared, or you could write it's the cube root of x and then square that. Remember, the bottom is the root because roots of a plant grow into ground, into bottom, okay? And that's the address of the house. Okay, remember, a rational exponent can always be rewritten as, you could just put a radical if you want, as a radical. I don't think there's anything hidden in there, no. If an equation has a rational exponent, we're going to isolate it and rewrite it as a radical, okay? So if you see a fractional exponent, we're going to rewrite it as a radical. Now, you need to know how to do this to do algebra, but this stuff's also on the ACT. So if you're wanting to go to college, this is also ACT stuff. Okay. So let's take a look. We're going to use the same steps that you just wrote on that front page, and I sure hope that says a 2/3. Does it say 2/3? Now, based on what you did yesterday, what do you think the first thing is you're going to do here? Okay, I'm going to rewrite as a radical, but is there something I would like to do first? Yeah, let's isolate that fractional exponent and then rewrite it as a radical. So, what would we do? Divide by 4. So I'm going to have x to the 2/3 equals, which is 9. Now, okay. Now, listen. I know what those instructions said. Don't write anything yet, because I want to show you 2 ways you can do this, and I'm just going to tell you I don't care which way you do it, okay? If we rewrite this as the cube root of x, how are we going to, so how are we, The cube root of 3 squared. All right. If I write that like this, you know what? I don't think that's the best way to do this problem. Kind of. let me show you something. Let's just say whoever wrote those, we're just going to say we're going to do a little different. Let me ask you a question. What happens if I raise that to the third power? That becomes x to the first, right? Because when you raise a power to a power, what do you do to the powers? Oh, when you raise a power to a power, you multiply. So what's 1/3 times 3? That's 3 over 3, which is 1. So that's x to the first, right? And don't I want to get x by itself? So what power would I want to raise that to make that just be x to the first power? 3 over 2. Why 3 over 2? Did you say 3 over 2? Because it's the reciprocal. Oh my gosh, you remember that big word. Good. Because what is 2/3 times 3/2? 6 over 6, which is 1. And what's x to the first power? What's x to the first power? X. So we're just going to take a little different tack here. I've got x to the 2/3 equals 9. Now I've got x to the 2/3 isolated, right? What power do I want to raise that to? To the 3/2. But if I do that to one side, okay. So here's what I want you to write. So have you got this written down? I want you to write this. We're going to raise that to the 3/2 power, and we're going to raise that to the 3/2 power. Well, just hold your horses. What do we have on the left? X. Now, yes. Now, what's the root? What's the address of the house? 2. That says the square root of 9. What's the square root of 9? 3. 3 cubed.
27.
27. Let's walk through that again. 9 to the 3/2 power. Remember, if we rewrote that as a radical, it would be the square root of 9, right? Raised to the 3rd power. What's the square root of 9? 3 raised to the 3rd power, which is 27. Okay? Now, the last thing you have to do, check it. If x is 27, 4 times 27 to the 2/3 power equals 36. We got to see if that's true. Now, I want you to do it without the calculator first, okay? I'll show you how to do it on the calculator. Do you do 4 times 27 first, or do you do 27 to the power first? You do 27 to the power first. So that says the cube root of 27, which is 3. 3 squared is 9. 9 times 4 is 36. That is flippin' cool. I agree.
I don't enjoy it.
We'll get over it. Okay. X plus 2 to the 3/4. Does that say -1 or -4? All right. Think. Good. Add 1 to both sides. What else do I have to do to isolate the stuff raised to the power? Nothing. Isn't the stuff raised to the power already isolated? Okay. So, what power do we raise both sides of this booger to? Yes. So you're going to do it like this. 4/3 4/3. All right. Be careful here. Look on the left side. What is this? Left side. It's just x plus 2, isn't it? That's just x plus 2. All right. Can you do this without rewriting it as a radical in a house? Cube root of 8 is 2. 2 to the 4th power. 16. X equals 14. X equals 14. And then check it. 14 plus 2, 16. All right, 16 to the 3/4 power minus 1, does that equal 7? Do you know how to do the 4th root of 16?
Yeah, we just did it.
What is it?
8.
No, the 4th root of 6, no. The 4th root of 16. You're right, you're ahead of me. The 4th root of 16. What number do you multiply by itself 4 times to get 16? 2. 2 to the 3rd power, 8, and 8 minus 1. Bingo. Bingo. That's right. If you've ever watched Gilligan's Island, any of you ever watched Gilligan's Island like on Nick at Night? Okay, Gilligan's Island's awesome. Well, there's an episode where this band, they're called like the Ants or something, because it's a spinoff on the Beatles. I think they're called the Ants or something. And the 3 guys' names are Bingo, no, 4 of them. Bingo, Bango, Bongo, and Irving. So when I hear bingo, I always think Bingo, Bango, Bongo, and Irving. That had nothing to do with anything. Okay, so C. X equals 4x minus 4 to the, what's that? 1/2? All right, what do we got to do? Say again? Not multiply by 2. What with 2? Raise it to the power of 2. Yeah. We're going to square both sides. So if we square both sides, what are we left with?
X squared.
Oh, okay, and your heart just goes, ooh, because you get to do an algebra problem. Okay. What is the biggest exponent you see? X squared. So you have a quadratic. Set it equal to what? Yes, sir. You're going to set this sucker equal to 0. Now, are you going to move everything to the right side, or are you going to move everything to the left side?
Left side.
How come?
So you don't have to have a negative leading coefficient.
Good. Well said. Because I don't have to have a leading coefficient that's negative if I move it all to the left. All right. So what's this going to be? X squared? What do I have to do to 4x to move it? Subtract it. I'm trying to see if you can do this in your head.
Subtract it, you make it look. It's going to be negative 2.
This sucker will factor on it. Hang on. Good. X minus 2 times x minus 2 or x minus 2 squared. Wait a minute. I thought we were supposed to have 2 answers.
It's the same answer.
Good. It's the same answer twice. Good. And then by golly, we got to check it. 2. 2, 2, 2.
Well, 4 times 2.
4 times 2 is 8. 8 minus 4 is 4. What's 4 to the 1/2 power? Because that means the square root of 4 is 2. Does that equal 2? Aha! There's our answer right there. There's our answer. Okay, now you're going to probably need your calculator to do some of this arithmetic. You don't like that. Okay, you're going to be all right. isolate. What do we do to isolate? No. Look here. What do you think PEMDAS? Exponents come before multiply, right? So you cannot distribute. What are we going to do? Subtract 2, and then divide by -3. Subtract 2 and divide by -3. Well, raise it to the power. Say it like that. Tell me what this is. Did you subtract 2? Did you do -646 minus this 2 right here? So no, it'd be be this 216. 216 equals 65 minus x to the 3/2. All right. Now, what did I do? No. A negative divided by a negative.
Never catch your lack.
No, hey, yeah, I see you catch me in plenty of mistakes. I've given away too many points. All right. What now?
Now you do the
Raise both sides to the 2/3 power. There you go. So I've got 65 minus x equals, yes, 36. Did you do that in your head or did you calculate? All right. Is everybody okay? Do you know how to get 36? You can do the cube root of 216 on your calculator and then square that. Or you can do on your calculator 216 raised to the, and then do your fraction. You can do it that way. To cubes, huh? What'd you say? How do you cube, like raised to the 3rd power? Or cube root? To cube root, you go to the math key. Do you see the math key on the far left?
Oh, okay.
And there's one of those that says this. All right, finish. Subtract 65 and I'll get negative. I don't think it's 31, is it? 29, yeah. You did 36 minus 65, but it's, I mean, it is 36 minus 65, but you don't get 31. Okay, so what do you get? Negative 29 equals what? Negative x, good.
So I mean that positive x equals positive.
Good. And then, check it, 29. No, I didn't just hit the wall. I might, but I didn't that time. The woe? Oh, mercy. 65 minus 29 to the 3/2 plus 2. What do you do first there? Where'd it go? It's right there. It's, yeah, it hadn't, no, it's because I touched the thing right there. What do you do first there? Come on. What's 65 minus 29? 36. What's 36 to the 3/2 power? What's the square root of 36? And what's 6 cubed? You got a calculator. 6 cubed is 216, right? So this says negative 3 times 216 plus 2. What do you got? Negative 648 plus 2. Good. Works. That's all that page, right? Now, question. On the very last page, there are 6 questions. I'm going to call on 3 of you, and you're going to tell me which 3, one apiece. You're going to tell me which 3 we're going to work. Okay, hang on. Hold your horses. Hold your horses. Danny, pick one. H. Okay, so we'll work that one. Gabe. E. Okay. All right, go ahead. Did you? Let's go J. And let's go J. I think that's probably a good idea. All right. So let's go those 3. E, H, and J.
Let's go E first.
Could we swap E for F? Mm-mm. Either we swap E for F or we're doing 4 because I want to do F.
Fine, we'll swap it for F.
Swap E for F. All right. I want to swap E for F. Sorry, Gabe, but I really want to do that one. You picked the easiest one on the page.
Swap the whole.
Letter F. What are we going to do?
Add more.
Add 1. Is that 3/4? Do we have our stuff isolated? Are we isolated? Okay, so what do? Okay, we're going to raise each side to the 4/3 power. Look at the right side. What do you have on the right side? 27x. Now hold it. Don't use your calculator. Your brain. Listen.
I already had it.
On the ones that are tougher, use the calculator. But look here. What's the root? What's the root?
9.
What's the root?
No.
4 of the 3. The 3 is the root. The 3 is the address of the house. What's the cube root of 27? Raised to the 4th power. 81. Do as much as you can in your head because the more you work that brain, the more these are going to get in there. Finish. Good. Divide by 27. What do you get?
3. Plug it in.
All right. We'll plug in. 26 equals -1 plus 27 times 3 to the 3/4. What do you do first? Do the parentheses.
27.
So we've got 26 equals -1 plus. That's a question. I want to address that. I'm glad you mentioned it. What do we do first? Do we do -1 plus 81? Or do we do 81 to the 3/4?
Exponents come first.
Good. Exponents come before addition. Good. All right. 81 to the 3/4. Which one's the root?
4.
The 4th root of 81 is 3, and 3 cubed is 27. Is 27 minus 1 equal to 26? Now, again, you could go to your calculator and you could do 81 raised to the, and then use your fraction and do 3/4. You can do that. Why? Alpha y equals. Alpha y equals. All right, H. We got 2 more. 2 more. Go. Sorry, TI today. Oh, snap. So that means we're 5 minutes. Okay.
Yeah, wait.
We got 10 minutes left.
Alright.
Go. What do we do?
Subtract 1.
There's that hawk again. Equals. Equals. Now what? Raise both sides to the 5th power. What do you have left in the left side?
Holy nuggets. You add 5.
Okay. 3 to the 5th. 243. So x is, I heard 248. Plug it in. What's 248 minus 5? So you've got 243. What the devil did I just do? 243 to the 1/5 plus 1. Is that equal to 4? Do that on your calculator. 3 and 3 plus 1 is 4. One more. Guys, you're doing real well. Real well. But that's good. That's good. Mark Sparks says, if your brain does not hurt when you leave my classroom, I'm sorry, I will do better tomorrow.
For this one, you want to add 5.
Why do I want to add 5?
You want to X myself?
What do I want by itself in these problems?
The thing.
The thing.
With the stuff.
I want the thing with the stuff. I want that by itself. The thing raised to the power.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's by itself already, isn't it? So, raise, oh-ho, oh-ho.
So then we're going to have, like a...
Uh-huh. Yes, sir. Good.
Yes, sir.
X squared.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What's on the left side? 45 minus 9x. Now, what's on the right side?
X squared minus 25.
It's not x squared minus 25. Remember, x minus 5 squared means x minus 5 times x minus 5. No. X minus 5 times x minus 5, and you FOIL it.
X squared minus 25.
There you go. Just listen, go over to the side if you have to and write x minus 5 times x minus 5. That is not all she wrote.
I thought she was going to smack his head. I was like,
Where the crap are the, where's this one? Yeah, I know it. All right.
That's why you get 24s on our tests, Manny.
Don't say that out loud, Travis. It's okay.
Everybody's heard about it.
Let's finish. Which side do I want to put stuff on to negative 10x? Put everything on the right side. Put everything on the right side. If I add 9x to both sides and subtract 45, help me out. I'm getting old, I'm a little slow, you gotta help me out. Minus x. Now, Kent is going to quadratic formula because that's his favorite, but this sucker will factor. Watch your signs, Judd. The bigger number needs to be negative, so
X equals 5.
now,
Now you have to check them. Right.
there you go. Now, could both of them be right? Yes. Could neither one be right? Yes. 5.
And that would make it an extraneous thing.
Very good.
Extraneous
Very good.
solution.
Any of them that are not right, good, are extraneous solutions. There you go. There you go. 5. 45 minus 9 times 5. What's 9 times 5?
45 minus 30.
So 45 minus 45 is 0. What's the square root of 0? And over here,
And 0.
5 minus 5 is 0. 5's good.
How about 4?
How about, was it negative 4?
45 minus 36.
45 minus 9 times negative 4, right?
45 plus.
So that's 45 plus 36,
Oh my. 71.
81.
81. Gosh.
And square root of
What's the square root of 81?
9.
9. Now over here,
Negative 4 minus 5.
negative 4 minus 5 is
9 minus
9. Is 9 equal to negative 9?
No.
No. So
5.
what's negative 4?
Go with auto solution.
What's the word you just told me?
Extraneous.
Extraneous. Extraneous. All right, now listen to me. I'm going to give you an assignment. Yeah, well, you knew that was coming, right?
But you didn't.
Shh. Shush. I'm going to give you an assignment. You're going to get that done tomorrow. All right, you listen to me? Tomorrow, I have no teaching to do. I'm going to give you some more practice for the first half of the period. Then I'm going to give you a quiz to see if you can solve these kinds of equations. All right? Another quiz. Some of you need as many quizzes as you can get hold of.